Welcome to Cozy How To, your place for a snuggly warm learning experience. This is lesson number 3 for the Adobe After Effects CC software. And in this lesson, we're going to be talking about how to save your project. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that you have some files imported like we did in lesson number 2. If you look in our project panel, you'll see that we have 2 files imported already. So by default, if you look at the top of your screen, you'll see that it says Untitled Project when you haven't saved your project before. So anytime you see Untitled Project at the top of your screen, that means that you need to save the project and give it a file name. So when you're first saving the project for the very first time, there's really 2 options that you want to consider: the save function or the save as function. And when you first save for the very first time, they're both going to do the exact same thing. However, when you save a project for the very second time, both of those options are going to function very differently. So make sure you keep in mind this is only for when you save a project for the very first time that those are going to function the same. So let's go ahead and go to the File menu in the upper left hand corner and click on that. And then we're going to go to the option that says Save, or you can go to Save As and then go to the sub menu that says Save As. But they're both going to do the exact same thing. In this case, I'm going to click on the Save key, and that's going to bring up the Save As dialog menu. Within this menu, you can pick a location where you want to save the project. In this case, I'm in the iPhone 6 folder, and I'm going to leave the files in that folder because that's where I want to save our project. So once you find a folder where you want to save your project, the next selection that you want to look at is the file name. And in this case, it gives us the generic name Untitled Project, but in this case, I'm going to change that to Adobe After Effects Project 1. And after we give the project the file name to associate with this given project, we're going to then click on the Save button. And once we click the Save button, it'll save our project. And if you look at the top of our screen, you'll see that it gives us the path. And the path is just basically showing where you have this project saved on your computer. In this case, it says Users, Allen, Documents, iPhone 6, and then finally it gives you the project file name, Adobe After Effects Project 1. So that's just basically indicating that we saved this project and that file path on our computer. So if you were to close this program out and reopen that particular file, it would have all our changes saved in that particular file. Okay, so that is how things work when you save a project for the very first time. What if you wanted to overwrite the changes in this project? Well, what you would do is you would make whatever changes you want in the project, and then you would hit the Save key. So when you hit the Save key for the second time, it's going to overwrite your existing file that you have open. In this case, the Adobe After Effects Project 1. So for example, if I change Travel Photo to, for example, Travel Photo 2. Let's say we change it to that. Hit Enter. And then if I go to File and then click on Save, it's going to overwrite those changes. So now if we were to close the program out and reopen this file, instead of it saying Travel Photo, it's going to say Travel Photo 2. Okay? So it's going to overwrite those changes. So the other option is the Save As. And when you use the Save As function for the very second time, it's going to save things as a revision. In other words, when we hit the Save As key, it's going to save a new revision of this particular project. So that means that you need to change the project name so that you can have an additional copy saved. I want to be careful not to say copy because there's a save a copy option that's a little bit different. So we'll use the word save as revision. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to File and then click Save As, and then go to Save As for the sub menu. When you left click that, it brings up the Save As dialog menu. Now within here, we want to actually change the project name, because if we click Save, it's going to save over our existing file, and we don't want to save over our existing file. For this case, using the Save As function, we want to actually change the name of this project to maybe 1-2. Let's say that we name it that because this is our second revision. And if we click the Save key, you'll now see at the top of our screen that it says Adobe After Effects Project 1-2. So this is a new revision that we saved of our project. And let's say that with this new revision, we want to change Island Travel to maybe Island Travel 2. So I'm going to put the number 2 at the end of that, hit the Enter key, and I'm actually going to expand this menu width so we can see the full name for these files. And I'm going to actually hit the save key again because I made some more changes. So let's go ahead and go to file and click save, and we're going to overwrite this existing file. So now we have the new changes that we made for this second project, okay, using the save as function. So we now have two separate project files. We have the 1-2 and we also have the project 1. So those are two separate files that we have. And to basically demonstrate that, I'm going to go ahead and go to file, and then I'm going to go to open project. And you'll see that when we go to here, you can see the Adobe After Effects project 1, and then you see the Adobe After Effects project 1-2. Well, the 1-2 will have the newest and latest changes that we made, and project 1 is going to have the most previous changes that we made. So basically the save as function is going to function as saving revisions that will basically allow you to go back in time if for some reason the program crashes or you get an error and the project gets corrupt. If you save multiple revisions, maybe you save a revision every hour, for example, and you save 10 revisions, and for some reason when you get to the 10th revision the program crashes, the file goes corrupt, you can go back to revision 9 that you saved, and that will be the most previous version. But if you didn't save any revisions between those 10 hours, because let's say we save a revision every hour and we had 10 revisions, if you didn't save anything, you lose 10 hours worth of work because you saved no inner or middle revisions between the first project all the way up to the 10th hour. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But you definitely want to make sure you save revisions so that if you have a problem, you can revert back to the most previous copy. You don't want to lose 10 hours worth of work. So hopefully you understand the differences between the save and save as function versus saving it for the first time versus saving it for the second time. So now I want to talk a little bit about how to use the save a copy function. Okay, let's go ahead and go to file and then go to save as and then go to save a copy. Let's left click on that and it brings up the save a copy dialog menu. And you'll notice in this case it says Adobe After Effects project 1-2 copy, because in this case it's creating a copy of our existing project and it's not going to overwrite our existing file that we have open. Instead it's just going to automatically create a new copy. So let's go ahead and click on save. And you'll notice that at the top of our screen the Adobe After Effects project 1-2 remains in place. So we still have that same file open, and instead the program only created a copy of where we're at currently within our project. Now if we made new changes to this project file and hit the save key to overwrite it and make new changes, then this file is going to differ from that copy that we just created. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense as well. It's just creating a copy. It does not affect the current project that we have open. It's just saving a copy of the current project that we have open. So those are a few examples of how to use some of the save functions in the program. But another option you could use is by going to file and then going to increment and save. And increment and save is exactly what it says. It's going to save a new increment of where we're at. In other words, it's going to create a revision somewhat like the save as, but it's an automatic thing. So if we click on increment and save, you're going to see that now it says Adobe After Effects project 1-3. And the way that the increment save works is it changes the number at the end of our file and takes it to the nearest number up. So we were at project 1-2, it changed it to Adobe After Effects project 1-3. So let's say we made some changes in this particular project, like changing the name of the files again, which I'm not going to do because you already know how to do that. But let's say that we changed it again. If we went to file and then went to increment and save again, you're going to see that that number went up again. So this is auto generating a new file similar to the save as, but it's automatically giving it a file name. You don't have to go to file, save as, and then change the name of the project. It automatically creates a new increment for you using the number at the end and changing that. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful in giving you an understanding of how to use some of the save functions in Adobe After Effects. And if it was, don't forget to embed, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave thumbs up and stay tuned for future videos.